Hello everyone. So today I'm going to discuss about the four theories that helps to develop the language. And the first theory is Skinnerian theory. The Skinnerian theory is developed by Skinner, who viewed language as a verbal behavior that was learned just as any other behavior were learned. And the key components of the Skinnerian theory are observational interaction, which shows and interprets that uh, students need to, children need to observe and also interact in order to develop their language. And they also have the discriminate language as discriminate learning skills, which means they can name the objects in a different process with the selective reinforcement that helps to shape their language, means how they control their speech. And finally, they learn to uh, imitate from their parents and mothers. That's how their languages are developed. And this Skinnerian theory believes that this process helps to develop the language. The next one is psycholinguist theory. This focuses on syntactic system and the rules that govern the system. And the some of the key components of psycholinguistic theory is language acquisitions, which also genetically determine skills that humans are programmed to learn language naturally, like learning to walk, jump, and also it depends upon the culture and also the environment they are learning the language, and also the synthetic structure, which have two different types, means different deep structure and surface structure. And in deep structure, they tend to learn and understand the meaning, and surface structure, they phenomenologically represent the meaning. And transformational rules is also called um, by the shifting of deep structure into the surface structure. And this theory also believes through this process that children learns the language. The third one is semantic cognitivist theory. And this semantic cognitivist theory is based on semantic revolution. And the first one is semantic cognitive approach assumes that language is developed deeply rooted in early cognitive development, and the thoughts precedes language, like how the cognitive developed, that's how language are developed. And the role of adult is very crucial in this model because uh, parents helps to give uh, interaction and also experience to the children's examples, like how they utterance and also they develop the object permanence, which also called critical to the development of language, because whenever they see object they feel that it still exists even though they are not inside. This signals that they already have general concept of object and they are ready to learn. That's how language also, they already have the knowledge and they are just learning. And this theory also says with this process it helps to develop the language. And the final theory is sociolinguistic theory. Sociolinguistic was developed in response to focus on the structural development of language in previously discussed theory. The first is speech act, which is the central focus of analysis rather than syntactic or semantic element. This speech art has three types, which is illocutionary force, which refers to the speaker's intention as interpreted by listener; conversational principles, which refers to the listener expectations of the speaker; and presuppositions, which refers to assumption that both the speaker and listener may have expectations. So in illusionary force, there are two types. They're called implicit and explicit. Implicit refers to the interpretations, questions, and assumptions, or and explicit, which contains an action. Conversational principles is listeners act which expect to listen, and also preoppositional, both the speaker and listener expect something. So this social linguistic theory helps in development of language with this process. So from overall we can see that overall Skinnerian theory follows the natural verbal behavior, that is what human beings are tend to learn, and psycholinguist theory believes that human beings are programmed to learn, and semantic cognitive theory believes that according to the cognitive development they tend to learn the language, and sociolinguistic theory is according to the focus of analysis and their speech act. That's how they learn to uh, develop their language, and this theory helps in the development of children's language. Thank you.